All right, folks, it's your cousin Dale with another all-inclusive, but not so exclusive episode of this podcast thing that we're doing. This is episode 3. If you're tuning in right now, folks, I'd like you to, crack open a beer, nice cold beer, unless you're driving, of course. But I mean, if you're going to, just keep it concealed. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Eddie don't do that on his tractor every day. So last week, we brought up a few topics. Those topics were, places we'd like to travel. We did a little bit of trivia. We did our top 5s and stuff. Also, last week, we suffered a brutal tragedy right here in the garage, actually. It was pretty insane. We did a little bit of show and tell, all right? And my buddy Ed over here, he brought in a chimpanzee by the name of EJ.
His name was EJ.
And sadly, he did perish in the four-wheeler crash. His arms couldn't be severed because of how far they were lodged through his shoulder blades. They were going to ship him back to Africa, but they just knew that would be tragedy. So he was put to sleep. Poor little guy. I only knew him for, maybe 15 minutes, playing around with my wrench, shaking my hand a little too damn hard. I'll miss him, and I'm sure Ed.
I'm too damn attached to that chimpanzee, man.
It's all right, Eddie. You know what? Love will find you. You know what I'm saying?
He's
family.
Dead, man.
I know you look to him like he was the little brother or the child you never had, but you know what? You got some sons, Eddie, and I know you're raising them right over there. Just, I'd like to advise everybody here: it's not safe to bring a chimpanzee home, especially around children. But anyways, we got a special guest here today, and you're not going to be hearing a knocking on Dale's garage door because he's already here right beside me. And he's a local mechanic. Goes by the name of Joel Bradley. Here he is.
How's it going, Dale? Thanks for having me here tonight.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you stopping through. And of course, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Ed Gamble. Say hello, Ed.
Hi, I'm glad to be here, like always.
Of course, you make a great co-host, Eddie.
Thanks, buddy.
All sorts of shenanigans.
I don't really need your service because I can do everything by myself.
Hey, man, I'm just coming down here to have a good conversation tonight, all right?
Yeah, and that's what we're all doing here, folks. We're just learning, just learning a little bit about each other, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of, the show's going to take a little bit of direction today, a different direction. We're going to be probably talking about some more paranormal stuff like episode 1. And we're going to do some rants because you know what? I'm feeling a little bit pissed off, okay? Joel, I'd like you to talk about our country, all right? And I know you're a true American, all right? This man works on cars for a living. He's got a 24-hour service. It's the only person in town that can fix your shit, besides Eddie over here.
Hey, we're both running very honest operations, very American true operations,
Hell yeah.
Keeping these cars on the road, fuck this new shit.
No, you know what? The problem with those goddamn new cars is I feel like they're all made out of plastic or some shit.
Oh, everybody's going out, buying these things, getting in debt, don't know how to work on them, going getting just fucked by the dealerships, you name it.
I can't remember one time I went to a dealership for a vehicle, all right? They're asking for too much money, if you ask me. All right,
way too much. You can come on down to my lot, and scrounge around. The cars are dirty, they're old, but man, they'll get you to A to B, just fine.
Exactly.
I'll service them. I know how to work on them, head to toe.
And so Ed, when you're doing a little bit of the, automotive work for people around here, what kind of rates are you charging? Say a simple oil change. Now, how would you price that?
Well, I don't really I don't do what them fancy car mechanics do. Where I'm an honest man. I do honest work. I'm not gonna fuck them over and charge them $300 and tell them they don't need this.
All right, and Joel, how about you? What's your tactics when it comes to dealing with customers and making sure they get the most bang for their buck?
Most bang for their buck? Well, what's going to keep the car on the road? You go to all these service, specialty, whatever, blah, blah, blah,
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna sell you all kinds of unnecessary shit you don't even need on your car.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, and basic necessities. If it's got coolant, water, whatever you got in that tank to keep it running cool, you got oil. Don't matter if it's been running for 20 years on the same oil. I don't give a shit. It's oil. All right.
I've been having some transmission issues. All right, and I know those damn things are kind of expensive. I don't think that I want to replace the whole goddamn thing. But what would you suggest I do in a situation like that? Car's missing shifts, can't get up the goddamn hill.
Well, I mean, do you got a true American car?
Oh, it's a true American car.
Well,
I will not disclose the brand of the vehicle I'm driving just because some crazy fans around the town. I don't want them to recognize me.
No. Well, there's plenty of junkers around to find all kinds of parts in it. You could find a refurbished one. I could refurbish it. I do know how to rebuild them.
That's awesome.
Just a new gear set, shift kit, you name it. You need a new torque converter. We got them. It's all good shit. Get you back on the road.
Hell yeah. Well, I thank you for that. And I will take your advice to my heart. And now it's just a matter of, do I trust Eddie to do it? Do I trust Joel to do it? I'm sorry, I hate to put you guys in one of these ultimatums or whatever.
Hey, man.
But,
hey, he's a good guy. He does honest work. I will not.
All right.
I'm not coming here to bash no one.
Well, I'm more of a home remedy kind of guy. I think it should be left to the professionals. I think Joel here would do a lot better job. I'm kind of just a what you would call a newbie.
Yeah, well, and you folks out there, if you need any car flipping done, Eddie's your guy. He rips off all sorts of old people and stuff. So, I mean,
got all kinds of old mobiles and shit.
Oh, I know.
All Cadillacs.
All around town. Get them off the roads, all right? I don't want to be stuck behind some fucking old-ass 90-year-old,
No.
I'm getting sick of that, all right? But anyways, no, and Eddie is really great on working on four-wheelers, too, all right? I've seen him do some crazy shit. I mean, if you want something, for towing loads and stuff like that, Eddie's your guy. If you want something that is just going to fucking romp through the dirt, Eddie is your guy. I'm telling you, you can trust him with this kind of shit.
Yeah, he's good with that shit, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know. My boy Eddie's hooked up quite a few people around this town, and word gets around on the street pretty quick around here. That's what I'm telling you. I don't put out no crazy rumors or nothing, but word gets passed around quick in a small town. That's for damn
sure. I heard about that jump you got planned, Eddie. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Eddie.
Well, I'm gonna try to jump a few cars. I got a few bodies laying around that can be good to jump.
Are you gonna set them on fire first?
Well, Evil Knievel did that.
Well, I love the smell of burning engines and fucking fire and gasoline. It just it reminds me of home.
I really don't think that's good for your insides.
Well, I'm sure you're right about that one, Eddie.
But I got this ramp set up, and I'm gonna jump it like Evil Knievel.
I'm sipping on an India Pale Ale right now, and I'm just feeling like one ain't gonna get the trick done. So I'm a kind of guy. 4 or 5 beers will do me. But Ed over here, I mean, what are you? 24 a day? Is that what you were at?
No, I really think I'm more of a 12-pack a day.
Something like that.
24-pack. I think that'd just kill you.
Yeah, well, Eddie has had his trouble with alcohol poisoning in the past, but, we got all the home remedies to fix him up and stuff, with no need going to the hospital. I know Eddie ain't got no damn insurance, and I've been telling that boy, you need to get your health insurance, Eddie. What happens if you fuck your arm up in the four-wheeler?
It's nothing a little twig out of the woods and some duct tape can't fix, really.
I
mean, come on, Dale.
I know home remedies and stuff, but what if you need surgery, Eddie?
This is this man's specialty.
Well, I'm not getting that free damn health care from the government, I'm not going to be one of those saps that's suckling on the teat of the government, because those people are suckers, Well, back in my day, we'd break a leg and we'd be told to walk it off, and that's what we did.
I can't blame your pops for that, He was a pretty smart guy. He lived pretty dangerously, and I think he passed that down on to you, Ed. But even though you're living dangerously, you're living a really fulfilled life. And I appreciate that. That's the fucking American way. Can I get a yeehaw? Yeehaw! So, I've trusted Joel for a long time. He was one of those buddies. I think we met back in like high school-ish, kind of romped around.
Right.
We romped around all around.
Right,
Ed was always a little bit jealous, but it was back then. Ed.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. I wasn't really jealous. I just didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I was kind of lonely growing up.
Hey,
My
man,
father.
Back in the day, it was all about having the truck. Really, in high school, if I was 14 years old, I started driving my daddy's truck. I did.
Hell yeah.
I did. Fuck it. I started driving that bitch to school. They ain't gonna tell me otherwise.
No,
And,
exactly. What are you gonna do? I need to get here.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, I ain't gonna take the goddamn school bus with all the fucking retards.
No.
Well, Eddie, there was that instance that you did get in trouble for driving your 4-wheeler to school. But hey, I mean, that's not your fault. I mean, you're just trying to get
Hey,
there.
man, your little 2-stroke 4-wheeler back in the day was a fucking ripper, alright? That thing was respectable. You wouldn't shredded it up with us, man,
Yeah, he blew out the gears on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty damn quick.
He blew it up trying to keep up with me on my bike, no doubt, but hey, we don't need to get into the details of that.
Yeah, so Joel over here, he's been into some dirt blacking in the past. He used to rip shit up pretty
man,
bad.
Who hasn't around here, man? That's what these parts about.
That's true. I was always kind of more of a car guy. And I also like to, do some experimenting on my property with, we had demolition derby,
Oh, hell yeah.
We had just we just had the basic fucking left turns after left turns.
Dude, buying stock loads of Crown Vics and just destroying them.
It was amazing.
It was
I had
amazing.
so much fun back then. But, my back can't take that shit anymore. Plus, my wife will be hollering at me the whole
Man,
goddamn
we just need to put
evening.
one of the damn semi seats in one of them cars, and you'll be good to go. Damn.
That's a fine idea, actually.
Yeah.
Eddie, you think you could, do you have,
Innovation here.
you think you might have any old semi-truck seats laying around anywhere? Maybe you could dig one out of the junkyard.
Well, I like going to the junkyard. It's a good place to get some parts. I mean, just give the guy 20 and you can do whatever the fuck you want there.
Richard, who works down at the junkyard, shout out to my homie Richard. He
Richard,
basically
man.
just let me prowl down there damn near anything I can find.
Yeah, that dirty Mexican.
As you know here, Joel, he was trying to get on that show, American Pickers. If you guys have ever heard about it.
My father was a hoarder, let's be real.
Yep.
He was a drunk and he was a hoarder.
Everybody around here is hoarding something. It's crazy. I mean, you walk into somebody's house.
Every piece of the history of our family, my dad's friends, my grandpa's friends, was all shoved in that barn. All the barns, you name it. It was
Hell
just
yeah.
there.
Old ass tractors, man. I'm talking
Everything.
fucking antiques, man. I'm talking shit that on the market, it would not exist on the market today, all right? And as much as I love newer tractors that are coming out, especially John Deere, I don't like that fucking plasticky shit they're trying to put out, It's a fucking scam, all right? My tractor's got to last at least 50 years. That's the rest of my life, all right?
Yeah, tractor should outlive you. You
I
need
will-
to be able to pass that on. to your
Let
children.
me remind you folks, America, I will die on my fucking tractor, all right? And it will be fucking glorious, all right? I cannot wait until that day. Until then, I'm just going to be pedaling around. I got plenty of properties to be working on. I will die on my tractor. That is a God-given.
Well, you want to know what my daddy hoarded?
What'd your dad hoard?
Like, he hoarded a bunch of aluminum beer cans.
That's true.
They were like, he thought they'd be worth something in the future. He thought they'd go into another prohibition. And he collected over like 10,000 beer cans throughout his life.
Yeah, well, too bad he didn't realize that they had an expiration date. But I do remember that summer, if I recall, we drank something close to like 1,000 beers. I think that's when Eddie got his first alcohol poison. If I do recall, it's hard to look back on those days. We were always so pissed drunk, smoking
Man,
on
he
green
was
stuff.
Sick the whole next week. What are you talking about? You guys did that on a Wednesday night.
Oh yeah, that's right. Skipping school and everything.
Yeah.
Well, all right, because I was passing my classes just fine. It's like, hey, I got an A, man. I do my work, all right. And maybe, well, some days my father needed help and he needed work done, so I was skipping a lot of school, up until he passed away and stuff. little after. Basically, as soon as I got out of college, my father passed away. God rest his soul. Still have his eyeball. It's pretty fucking crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
How's your father doing over there, Joel?
Oh, he's doing good, you know. He's just sitting on his collection still, you know. Doesn't want to ever get rid of shit, you know. You try to go get something, borrow something from him. Fuck no.
That's the crazy. Hey, that's
I can't even move, and he still says he's gonna use something. You know, he's gonna build this addition to his house. You know,
yeah. Well, all right. So Joel's dad was actually a professional baseball player. All right, and this guy fucking ruined his body throughout the years.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that man can still walk to the shitter. It is amazing.
It is amazing. I mean, that's about all his willpower to eat food and shit, though. Really, truly.
And sit on that collection.
Oh
Crazy.
yeah.
You know, he played with some great players back then. And he's collected so much memorabilia, so much cool stuff. I mean, it's almost priceless. What do you think you're going to do with all that stuff after he passes?
Oh man, I'm just like my pops. You know, I got my own collection starting. You know, I just can't get rid of shit either. You know, you get something, you see value. You know, you just hold on to it. You're like, I'm gonna use it for something. You know, there's a use for something. You know,
there's always a use for something, America. Okay. So when you're looking through your garage or, you know, cleaning out the shed, tracking your feet down at the barn, you know, there's always something that you can use, man. You know, I take a lot of, you know, I prize possessions, okay? I prize possessions, all right? I don't mind rolling out to some folks' properties, you know, in the area and, you know, just saying, hey, can I take a snoop around? Half these people don't even realize what they got under their nose.
oh man, most of the time it's just shit out in their front yard. Really, like that's where the gold mine is. You know, just
I know, right? Wheelbarrows and everything.
oh, you name it.
Well, that's how I get some of my cars I flip. Them old people don't really know what they got until they've lost it. You know?
That's true. That's true. Because they watch that Antiques Roadshow and shit like that. You know, it's funny because all those old folks, they you know, they be rolling out to the car shows and stuff. We got a lot of car shows in town. It's really fun. In more recent years, after Eddie has scammed so many elderly, I mean, Eddie at the car show is insane. He's like, check this out, check this out. And all these old folks, you know, they don't come to the car show anymore because, you know, they just can't keep up. You know, they lost their vehicle, you know, their 69 Camaro, gone to Eddie because they did not realize. Eddie doesn't keep a lot of these cars in possessions, and I know he's made a lot of money off of flipping them, but if you ever need any car work, you know, Eddie's your guy if you're trying to get something flipped. You know what I'm saying? He'll charge you a small fee, but he'll get it done.
Yeah, I never really sell my cars. I'm just too attached to them, to be honest. I get them, and I work on them night and day, which is kind of what I do. You know, I really don't.
That's the practice, you know.
You know, I
gotta keep practicing at what you're passionate about.
You know, I'm passionate. It keeps me away from my family as well. You know, and that's
That's kind of fucked up. But I feel you.
Well, I like doing that. I like not participating in my family. I kind of leave before dinner. Just let them eat their macaroni and hot dogs, and I just kind of dip. You know, I don't really have anything to do over there.
I mean, honestly, I just live off of Hot Pockets, and I keep a freezer out in the garage. I don't. My wife cooks delicious meals every night, but you know, I love Hot Pockets, really. Folks,
next segment. All right, I'm gonna fucking get pissed off right now because you know I was trying to go to the local market the other day. You know, I've got calf. I've got a couple heifers out there. All right, and I treat them real nice. All right, they're living a fucking day spa out there. All right, I'm going into the market. You know, I'm thinking tonight hog roast. You know. Some little group of fucking maybe 15-year-olds, maybe 16, who knows? They're so goddamn immature. They're out there telling me that I'm a fucking criminal for eating meat and fucking poor little animals and shit. Well, guess what? I raise those goddamn animals. I know what it's like, all right? You don't know shit, so don't be telling me while I'm trying to make a purchase that it's wrong, that it's immoral, all right? That's some fucking bullshit,
well,
all right?
Well, I agree with you, Dale. God wouldn't have put these animals on the planet if we weren't meant to eat them. If
Amen.
not, they would be eating us right now.
Amen. All right. You know, we got some fucking wild animals running around here. You know, and God damn it, I take good care of my animals, all right? And I don't and yes, I do profit off of them, not only by the food that I consume, but for the people who are also consuming them in our local community. All right, and if you can't fucking understand this, there's the fucking exit to the country right there. And don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out.
Hey, I pledge by Dale's meat over here. I only hunt for my meals most of the time, but in the off season, Dale's the guy I look to. He personally raises livestock.
Yeah.
It is a livelihood.
I take
for
goddamn
him.
good care of that shit too.
It is a livelihood for him. All right, you hear me?
And don't get me wrong, I do like my greens on my plate too. All right, but if all right, I'd love to send all those fucking vegetarians and vegans off to some fucking island in the middle of nowhere and see what would happen to them. Do you think that they would survive as a community?
Well,
what are your thoughts on that?
I don't really think they could, because if they weren't eating meat, getting anything with the source of protein, I think they just wither and die. They don't have their
I don't know.
protein shakes.
Good luck
or-
trying to find some berries that ain't poisonous. You fucking dumb shits.
I mean, how do you think we survived the Ice Age, really? I mean, without meat and fats from meat and animals that we were killing and consuming.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and their
You think
pelts.
a salad would get you through a snowstorm, blizzard?
That's why I surround myself with like-minded people. All right, is because listen, do I feel shame or guilt for fucking putting a dart through a pig's head or a fucking heifer? Maybe a little bit, but I know that it's going for a good purpose. All right, and me and you, Joel, we have had plenty of steak from a heifer
Many.
that has died that very day, and I can't tell you how delicious it tastes.
Oh,
So-
the
And
fresher
how
the
much
better.
I praise it. I praise it. I pray before my meal.
Cut it up, cut it for about 3 minutes, or cook it for about 3 minutes. It's good to go.
Perfect,
Perfect.
man.
Oh,
The
You know-
meat is so succulent that every bite is like watery, juicy. You like. It's
Ed
just so
loves his steak.
succulent.
He eats an ungodly amount of steak. If them fucking vegans are going to be mad at anybody, be mad at Eddie, for God's sakes. He eats so much of that shit. But you know what? I don't blame him. Because this man, 220 pounds, 6 foot tall, he cannot fucking survive off of nuts and berries. All right? Come on now. It's just common sense. And I like my corn, and I like my potatoes and stuff. But guess what? Maybe potatoes aren't so good for you all the time, all right? But a nice fucking juicy steak, man, fucking builds the muscles. What are you going to be doing? You're going to be out there baling hay with fucking pencil arms? Hell no.
Well,
hey, man, they eat the hay. They don't bale it.
You're right. That's fucking funny right there.
well, I don't think any of them no good vegans have ever done a day of work in their life. Or I think they pass out of not having enough protein. They just like
Oh,
roll
no,
over
man.
and
Exactly.
die.
They just
No.
want to lay on their backs.
Most exercises they do is when they go to the gym to take Instagram pictures with their protein shakes. I mean, really.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Hey, you motherfuckers out there, you little vegan faggots. I'm fucking sick of it, all right? With your little social media and your little fucking groups. I don't give a shit. You don't know anybody in real life, all right? I got good friends, all right? I got buyers, I got sellers, all right? What do you got? You got followers. That's fucking lame, bro. Get that shit out of here, man. I'm sick of this bullshit. Where is our country headed right now? There are so many people with their heads up their asses. Killing me. Dr. Phil, do something about it. I know you have it in your power.
Well, don't get me started on those feminists.
Don't get me started on those feminists. I have not had enough beer yet. All right, folks. We're going to be doing a new segment here. We're going to be jumping into some trivia. I think it's about time for some trivia. How about...
I mean, you were about to get into feminism, but, that's a hot topic.
Listen,
right? I mean, listen.
after I finished a couple more Pabst, I might get into feminism, all right? We're going to be hopping into some trivia, all right? And our new guest, I hope he's ready for this, man. This
Hey,
is
man.
this is an IQ test, pretty much.
I don't know shit about anything but cars. All
Oh,
right?
well,
I'm giving you folks a
maybe
heads up.
we'll ask you a couple of car questions, all right?
Well, I don't know anything either. I just kind of guess.
Well, that's all right. That's all right too, folks. All right, we're all just here to learn. All right. For you folks listening at home, don't worry if you get some of the questions wrong. So we're getting into some trivia here, and it looks like it's going to be Joel versus Ed.
Well,
It's going to be a little bit of a battle of wits.
battle of the dumb
All right,
asses.
so we
more
got some
like
tough
it.
questions today, folks. But mainly we're going to be in the animal category, a little bit of political categories, and we got a change up for the last one. So since you're special guest today, Joel, we're going to start with you.
All
That
right.
first question, and I hope you can answer it. What is the largest rodent in North America?
Oh, man, I'm going to, I do quite a fair bit of hunting. I'm going to have to say a porcupine.
Porcupine. All right.
I'm gonna have to say one of them damn hedgehogs.
And you guys are both wrong. All right. That's all right. And we're just learning, folks. All right. And the largest rodent is actually going to be the beaver. All right. Because they can get pretty fucking big, fucking up the streams and stuff.
I always fucking kill them, baby.
What is the only bird that can fly backwards? Any guesses?
I'm gonna say hummingbird.
Hummingbird. All right. How about you over there, Ed?
I'm gonna have to say one of them blue-breasted boobies.
There's Ed there with his mind in the gutter, like always.
I like them boobies.
So the answer is hummingbird. So you're doing pretty good so far. You've only missed one. That's not too bad.
Good going.
All right. Next question. What animal is the symbol of the U.S. Democratic Party? All right. Now take your time.
I mean, I sure hope both me and Ed know this damn answer, alright? None of us want to say this shit, give them any kind of credibility like we even know they're in existence. But we'll call it as it is, their ass.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree because they're all a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
You guys are both right. Sadly, you guys are both right. You know, those Democrats, fuck. I don't know if I could put up with them very much longer, you know?
I know they're trying to push them faggotry laws.
Man,
It's terrible.
bunch of communist bastards.
If I wanted a communist dictatorship, I would move to Russia or China.
If I wanted free health care, I'd move to Canada.
Yeah, and we don't really like Canada that much. I mean,
Nah, they resemble the French way too much.
yeah, that's true. And like I've said in the past on this show, I don't really like French people. You know, they give up just too easily. Right?
Well, I have
They
a
lost
joke.
to the Mexicans, all right? They lost to the Mexicans.
I have a joke. Why do French tanks have mirrors in the back?
Why?
So they can see the front lines.
That's a good one.
That is a damn good one.
Heads, you crack me up all the fucking time. You hearing that, folks? Christ. All right, we're going to get to the next question. All right, what president dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Which president was that?
Oh, man. You know, I didn't pay much attention to school, but I'm going to have to say it was that man Nixon. You know, he was a bad motherfucker.
All right, and how about you, Eds?
Well, I did see this, and my kid, he's got U.S. history classes, and he really knows what's going on. He tries to teach me. I didn't really go to school that much, so I wouldn't
That's
really
true. That's
know.
true,
But
folks.
he told me it was some faggot named Truman.
You are correct. Actually, your son's correct, and therefore you are correct. Yeah, Nixon. That was off by quite a few years
Like
though.
20
But, hey,
years.
Nixon was a bad motherfucker. You're gonna conspire against the United States. Get the hell out. There's the fucking exit.
Being fucking communist.
All right, all right. How you folks enjoying that trivia right now? Hope you guys are having a lovely day. All right. I got a couple of car guys with me. I hope they'll be able to answer this. You folks out there might not be so sure on it, but what was the first Japanese car that was mass-produced in the United States?
Oh, man, I don't like knowing this shit because, my kid's into this. But it's got to be one of them Rice Rocket Honda Accords. Maybe, yeah, I think it's Accord.
How about you, Eds?
Well, I don't really conspire with them Japs because, they fucked us over.
They
So-
did in the past. Yes, that's true.
I don't really deal with their nonsense, so I don't really care to answer this question, okay?
All right. Well, Eds is refusing to answer this question, but I'd just like to let y'all folks know that Joel was correct. It was the Honda Accord. Funny thing about Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Japan and getting bombed in Honda Accords, the guy who was inventing those goddamn things over there, when the bombings happened, his entire factory was destroyed, and all those Hondas that this guy was making got destroyed, and he was forced to restart everything from the bottom. And that's kind of American. I just like to embrace that for a second.
Yeah.
I know those damn Japanese. We had it with them in the past. We had that beef. But guess what? They are allied forces now, and I respect them. They've been ahead of the game on some technology and stuff, And I'm not for the technological revolution, but I seen it coming 1,000 miles away. Shout out to our Japanese listeners out there if you're out there. All right. And that's going to wrap it up for our trivia today. Joel, you nailed a lot of those questions, my friend.
Thank you
I was very
much.
surprised. I'm very surprised.
Thank you very much. You just managed to test some of the knowledge, that little knowledge that I have with random fucking questions.
Where's my credit, Dale? I think I did fairly good, too.
Ed, you did a fine job. I mean, you refused the last question. I understand
Well,
why.
just so you know, I would have got that question too.
Yeah, that's true. And so your son has been dabbling into those rice burners.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the end thing nowadays, getting them as low as and unfunctional as possible. I don't get it. He has to park 4 miles down my driveway because that shit can't make it up. It's bottomed out so many times, I just keep telling him, and we even made a skid plate to it. It was one of the few things I've come together with him on, was to build a skid plate. And that shit still bottomed out, and he got it stuck there for like 2 weeks.
Damn.
And all of his lazy ass friends couldn't get it moved. So
That's what I'm talking about. Giving them some responsibility.
man, I told him, I could tow it out with my truck. Of course I can, but you need to learn your damn lesson.
Well, what type of truck do you have, Joel?
I got an old Ford F-150. It's a good
Good
truck.
truck, good
solid truck.
Those things have a long road life. That's what I'm talking about.
Indeed.
Hey,
And when some punk ass little kids that need help towing their little rice burner out of the ditch, guess who's not going to show up to help them? That Ford F-150 who just burned past them, honking and yee-hawing.
and if I do, I usually rip their front bumper off because that shit's, it's Japanese. It's plastic.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like made in China.
Folks, we're only speaking the facts here, all right? We're not making shit up. I'm ready for shit. When I wake up, I throw on a pair of boots,
Oh man, got throw on a pair of work boots. I mean,
Exactly,
it's a necessity.
And these guys out there thinking it's okay to wear women's shoes.
That's kind of gay.
I'm just not a fan of it. Listen. All the gay listeners out there, listen. I'm not targeting you, all right? You're just fine. If the country accepts you, if God accepts you,
God
that's all I
doesn't
care
accept
about.
Them. It says right so in the Bible.
Well, Ed's been dabbling into the Old Testament a little bit, so we're going to disregard that. So all of our gay listeners, just feel free to call in. Give us your questions, concerns, comments. We'd be happy to get back to you. Maybe do a little bit of arguing, whatever, because I know you guys are pretty upset about your rights as they stand.
Well, I think they got plenty of rights. They can marry and do whatever the hell they want in the comfort of their own home. I don't really think they should be forcing their opinions on everybody else.
I think that's a great point right there, Ed. I think it's great.
Yeah, just like those goddamn vegans and vegetarians standing outside the supermarket.
If you want to be gay and happy and whatever the fuck you want to do, just don't say what I can't say and what I can say.
Yeah, and the only flag I want to see whispering in the wind is the American flag.
I don't want no damn rainbow colored
Jesus
flag
Christ.
floating in the wind.
I mean, it's really not that difficult, folks. I mean, you live in America, We've got a set of standards we live by here. It's freedom. And sometimes freedom ain't free, all right? You got to make some sacrifices, goddammit. Stop being so damn selfish, We're going to be moving into the next segment here pretty soon, We've done some rants. We did a little bit talking about cars. We did some trivia. Next, I think we're going to be doing some top fives, something like that. We're going to spin this fancy wheel. We're going to see what random category comes out, and we're going to talk about it. Yeah, folks, I'm sorry if you're a little offended out there, Maybe this podcast isn't for everybody. And if it ain't, turn it off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we ain't forcing you to listen because this is our opinions, and you got your own opinions too, but those opinions are kind of wrong.
As much as we're here to state our opinions, I don't want to argue with fools all day, That's one of my pet peeves. It's like these days I can't even go, run my errands without having to deal with some snowflakes. I'm like, come on, it's the middle of summer, for Christ's sakes.
Shouldn't they all be melted by now? Always talking about how they want equal rights and equal pay. Them women that are saying, oh, we want equal pay, but they don't do the same amount of work.
It's the social justice warriors, That's what it is. It's the people who feel the need to butt in on something that doesn't affect their life. That's the people who have a problem with something like this.
That's exactly
they don't have
right.
to listen, but they have to have a problem with it. Because they ain't got nothing better to do.
Yeah, they're kind of stupid. They don't...
Of course they are. They're self-entitled for no reason. They haven't accomplished anything.
Nope.
Nor have we, but we're not coming out here to argue with people. We're coming out here to share our opinion.
We ain't forcing our opinions down their
Exactly.
throat.
No.
They have every right to walk away. But these people, they walk up to you trying to force their opinion down your throat. They open up your mouth and shove it down, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Exactly. You guys are right. You guys are. I want to yee-haw for America right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm talking about. And you folks out there that don't want to yee-haw with me, you know, like I said, man, there's the exit.
You can get
Right,
the
that's
fuck out of my
That's a
beautiful
theme
country.
on today's podcast is
Jeez.
for all you folks out there who, you know, come to this country and you want to complain, you want to change things. Well, this country ain't changing, all right? As long as I'm alive, I'll tell you what. I'm worried about the future, folks. And I'm also optimistic about passing on my seed and such. Hopefully this town will get a little bit smarter. No, ain't no need to be building no damn skyscrapers. All right, next segment. We're moving on to top 5. We're gonna spin this wheel. Let's see what we land on here. All right, looks like we're gonna be talking about food. All right, now that's a good subject right there.
Damn good.
I love food. All right, we're just gonna discuss what some of our favorite meals are. And we've talked a little bit about it on the show earlier, talking about steak and vegetables. All right. So for me, I love steak. It's probably steak, burgers, bacon, anything like that, you know. Put it on one plate. I don't give a damn.
Can't really. You got the food pyramid, which is meats, and then like corn and potatoes.
Corn and potatoes, yeah. It makes it pretty. It really makes the meal kind of worth it, you know. Can't just eat steak. Joel, are you the type of person that likes to eat your food in pieces, like you start on the potatoes and then you move to the corn and then the steak, or do you just kind of eat it all together?
I'm a very sectioned eater. I start usually with the veggies, power through them, you know. Your steak's waiting there, just sizzling in front of you. It makes it that much easier to just get through them. You know, if I eat my steak first, yeah, and my salad's just sitting there and that's all that's left.
It's kind of a bummer.
I love me some spuds, though. Don't get me wrong. I love me some spuds.
Hell
you know,
yeah.
I do.
Hell yeah, nice and buttery.
Steak and potatoes, those go together great. You know, those you can mix up a little bit. You know, you name it, get some gravy on there. It's delicious.
Hell yeah. You know, in the wintertime, you know, my wife, she puts together a really fine soup for me. And I love beans. God damn, I love me some beans. And she makes probably the best soup and beans I've ever had in my life. I wouldn't survive those long, cold winters without them.
Oh, no, man. You know, my wife, she makes delicious roast. She makes 30 pounds of it at a time. I mean, I request it. So that way, you know, when I'm in working in the shop, I got warm roast sitting right there. You know, microwave away, quick minute 30, you know, it's good to go.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
What?
Ed, so like, pretend it's lunchtime. What would you be eating?
Maybe some hot dogs. Growing up, we didn't really have a lot to eat. We had the Kraft dinner, mac and cheese, and my father would just cut up hot dogs and throw them in there, and like it says dinner on the box.
Yeah, that's
It's-
true.
It says
That's
dinner,
all
it's
we
dinner.
eat, but sometimes
true.
he'd do something special, maybe for like a holiday or just
Yep.
a good
I mean,
su-
I think everybody remembers their mom cutting up hot dogs, putting the mac and cheese. I mean, we can all relate to that.
Who doesn't?
I mean, that's a childhood memory right there.
It
You know,
sure is.
I always like those tasty peanut butter sandwiches, you know. It's just nice to, you know, take it to school. I'd have some peanut butter sandwiches. You know,
Well,
that was my thing when I was a
wasn't a
kid
huge
growing
fan
up.
of peanut butter. I kind of just had jelly sandwiches.
Wow, Ed's, I mean, I can see
Peanut
it.
butter was kind of expensive, and so it was kind of a delicacy that my family couldn't really afford.
Yeah, and anybody can just about make their own jam in their backyard.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like you know those tree sap. We kind of use that as a jelly too.
That must have been hard to palate. I'm telling you, man.
Well, no,
They usually make that into syrup.
well, it wasn't really a syrup. It was just like tree sap coming out of a tree, and
Put it on some toast.
yeah, that's pretty much how we ate it.
nice.
It wasn't too bad, but it was a lot easier to stomach the jelly.
All right, I got a question for y'all. If you were stranded on an island and you had one food of choice for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, man. What would
And
it
you
be?
can't choose steak.
Oh.
Can't choose steak. I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. Steak, because we all know we love it. It's probably our favorite. Besides steak.
It'd have to be a burger for me.
All right.
Well,
burger.
that's where you're missing out there, okay? Because that ain't got all your food groups. You die off soon.
Wait, hold on a second.
What are
You
you
say
talking about?
you say it don't got all the food groups, but listen,
We didn't say what kind of burger.
it's got burgers, it's got cheese, lettuce, tomato, ketchup, mustard. It's got buns. It's got little seeds on the tops of the buns there. It might even have bacon on it. All right,
Might
that
even
sounds like all the food groups
Might
to
even
me.
have an egg on it as well. You know.
Oh man, those breakfast burgers.
Man,
Oh,
breakfast
to die for. I'm telling you,
I'm gonna have to go with either like a soup, a hearty chicken soup, maybe
that's not bad.
chicken
bad.
soup with dumplings. Because you
Yeah,
got
you don't have-
all your food groups. You got something to drink if you're thirsty. You got the broth. You got chicken. My daddy put potatoes and carrots and the noodles, of course, and got dumplings.
Oh, that sounds pretty tasty. And you know what? That's also good for your digestive system. You ain't gonna get Eddie ain't gonna be constipated on the island. That's for sure. My buddy over here, Joel, though,
Hey,
he might have some digestive issues.
I will power through, man. I mean, I pretty much eat burgers every night already, folks. Let me tell you that. So
That's fucking hilarious.
Well,
For me, if I couldn't bring steak, I'd bring country fried steak. All right. I mean, okay, listen.
fair enough.
okay,
That's
me
fair,
and Joel, we got some of the food groups. You don't have any. You got saturated fat and
Hold the phone right now. Is Eddie making steak sound bad?
well,
I'm just trying to make this clear.
It sounds like you're trying to make steak sound
Well,
bad.
I want you to live, buddy, but I'm not going to share any of my soup with you if we're stuck on an island
I
together.
would rather this man die happy eating steak
Well, I want him
than
to,
suffer through eating something that he would not choose to eat. You
Thank
understand?
Thank you for defending me
But-
on that one.
I'm just trying to say, Dale, I love you. You're like my brother.
I love
But
you too.
I want you to live a long life. Not
Well,
necessarily a
if
happy
I was
life.
stranded on a goddamn island, how long do I really want to live, folks?
Well, it doesn't say how long you have to be stranded for.
Not to
okay?
mention, depending on the meat that's inside the country fried steak, if it's real, if it's real beef, that's good for me. That's good for
good.
beef is good for me.
Substance.
Beef is good for you too.
But
All right?
like,
And then the breading. So I got my breading, I got my beef, and then I got a nice warm gravy to
What?
coat it. Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
Well,
So-
how are
Man,
you?
my mouth is watering right
How are you gonna eat? How are you gonna heat that meal up? Okay, my soup can be eaten cold. Okay, his burger could be eaten cold if you like it like that. Your
I can
country,
do the same damn thing. Eddie, I know how to make a fire. All I need is a little gasoline or maybe a fucking pair of eyeglasses.
didn't-
Well, if I was
you
stranded
didn't say
on
you're gonna be stranded on an island with gasoline or a cooking pit because what are you gonna cook that on the
Well,
plate?
you know-
you're gonna put your hand over the fire with the
Here's
plate
what
in
I'm
your
saying.
hand and heat it up. Well, that ain't gonna work out.
As opposed
Okay?
to vegans or vegetarians, if I was stranded on an island, I would know how to mine for resources. Say,
What?
maybe I struck oil. And if I struck oil, I damn sure as hell have something to light my fire with.
Well, you know the government's going to be there in seconds because they only care about that oil. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't be stranded on that island no more.
That's fucking true. Holy shit. Well, maybe I discovered some flint. Then maybe I discovered some iron. And then I smelted that iron. Now I have iron tools. But if you're vegetarian, or if you're vegan, you probably wouldn't know how to do that shit anyways.
This man can retain information because he eats steak. Listen, folks.
That's true. It replenishes the fucking neurons in your brain, okay? It's true. It's the truth. Read a book. Got that goddamn smart computer in your phone all the time. Just look it.
Well, my son plays that game. I know what you're talking about. Smelling your tool and whatnot. This ain't. Is that what he? Is that what you're talking about, Mein Kampf?
Mein Kampf? You mean the book that Hitler wrote?
No, oh no, not that.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about. But anyways, what you're saying about my iron tools?
Well, how are you gonna make those?
Well, I'm gonna mine for the iron. It's
Well-
gonna be a real pain in the ass. I'm gonna have to sift through a lot of dirt, a lot of rock. But then when I find that little bit of iron, I'm gonna melt it over my fire, and then I'm gonna shape it into a beautiful tool. Maybe an axe, maybe a machete. Hell, maybe I need a toothpick. You never know.
That doesn't sound very believable. Sounds like you're playing a game.
Well, you know what, Eds? I have survival skills, and if I did have to live on an island for the rest of my life, I think I'd make it through it. I could build myself a nice little log cabin. It wouldn't be that hard, you know. Cut down some goddamn trees. scope
With
it
what?
out.
Your bare hands?
With my bare hands and with the tools that I just so happen to make.
Well, how are you
Yeah,
gonna
Eddie
make
sat over there kicking the dirt. And he said, I don't know how to make these tools. Life is a damn video game. I can't do this.
Well, how are you gonna make those tools if you don't got no wood to light your fire?
I got plenty of wood.
It's on an island.
I'm on a goddamn
Well,
island.
how are you gonna?
How's he gonna get the wood?
Yeah, how's
Well,
he
you
gonna
get smaller wood that's either on the ground or you break it and make a tool.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you gonna
I
make?
definitely
fire
don't want to
going?
be stranded on an island with Eddie. I will disclose that right now. You're a good man. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You're a good man.
I know, but he's a little bit combatant.
He-
When
Well,
you know,
how are you gonna make?
what are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit there and eat soup all day?
Hell yeah, man! My mama made a very hearty soup.
How are you going to heat that suit up with the fire that you did not help collect?
Well, that's the thing. Soup can be eaten cold. Okay.
I know what Eddie would be doing. He'd be trying to build some kind of four-wheeler, something like that he could try to escape the island with. Maybe a boat or something. Eddie loves boats.
I'm gonna make one of them jet skis and ride off.
Well, good luck making, a piston engine,
Well, that sounds a lot easier than
You're going to need some oil to get that shit heated up. I'm telling you.
And if you built all these tools and struck oil, well, he's got that oil.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll
That's
trade you
true.
some of my soup.
You want to do a little bit of trading and bartering on this island?
I'll give you my lifetime supply
And
of
see,
soup.
now he's getting all the substance.
Yeah,
It all comes back around, doesn't it?
I'll
I'm almost like King Dale. King Dale with the tools and the fire. Like
Well-
a goddamn caveman or something, like I invented the wheel. What I'd probably do first is build a huge fence, kind of like we have in between our homes right now. Big privacy, just in case.
Well,
you
you
can
can
pop
try-
through every once in a
You
while.
gonna try to keep me out of the other half of the island?
No, Eds, I
really
just-
think that's segregation.
No, you know what?
Are you because of my ideas? You're ostracizing me.
You sound like one of those Democrats right now, Eddie.
Well,
Hold on a second. Take a few steps back. Who do you sound like? You sound like a social justice warrior. Right now.
Well, I'm just saying you gotta integrate. We gotta be friends. We gotta put our
I
soup
can
and
get
our
on that.
country fried steak and our hamburgers
Well,
together.
as long as you don't got a problem with me making some tools.
Country fried hamburger. So
I don't know what I would be able to do without a goddamn toolbox.
How about I eat metal for the rest of my life and I'll share it with you guys?
That doesn't sound like a good idea, Eds. I think you'd be dead in a day.
Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take to get us off this damn island.
listen, you give me a Sears catalog, and I'll get us off this island. I'll build us a plane out of that motherfucker.
Yeah, this guy over here is a mechanic. He can make just about anything from scratch.
I want to see it done by the end of the night. Come on, let's go. I got like
Hey, he's not
By the end
a
of the night?
he's not a god. I mean, he's not a miracle
my
worker,
my
but
father
I know
has
he can do it
like
pretty
50 of
damn
those
quick.
Roebuck catalogs that you used for wiping their ass back in the day.
Your daddy wiped his ass with the Sears catalog.
Well, we weren't the richest guys in town, and they always
He didn't
gave
even
us those.
let you look at the lingerie section or the nightgown section. Really?
Sears catalog was a lifesaver.
It was a
Let's just say
lifesaver.
that.
He used those to wipe his ass. Okay.
Well, that's because he was having trouble bringing money into the home, and they couldn't afford no toilet paper. I'll tell you, I always loved Ed. I considered him my brother. My parents, they always let Ed over, and he was always coming over asking for the sugar, asking for the milk, asking for the toilet paper, asking for a goddamn cable to hook up a television, anything. And he became closer to us.
I kind of just lived over at your house for a while.
Yeah, it's crazy because me and Ed, we've always grown up next door to each other. He's a good man. And if you got good friends out there, don't ever be afraid to ask for help when you are in need. Whether that be,
Whenever your dad's beating your mom and you got to go over to your neighbor's house to just get away from it all. Dale was my guy.
Exactly.
I hope y'all have a Dale in your life like I do.
Listen,
that's so nice.
Dale's been a good friend of mine for a long time now, and Ed. It's funny. This is called Dale's garage, but this used to be Ed's garage. Let's be real. He was over here all the damn time.
Yeah, that's true.
I loved seeing Ed over here. He's a great guy. We were always shooting the shit, all of us out here, and it's funny to come back around and come back to this garage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's really cool. I know folks that are just now tuning in. They don't know about the past, but we do, and it's good times here.
Exactly, man. The past is forever. I'm telling you.
That's all that really matters. Us three right now.
Right now.
We got, Gene. He was always a good friend of ours, too. Always coming over here. It was kind of like it's not a trio, but you add one more.
Yeah, quadruplo, whatever you want to
yeah,
call
the
it.
Raising hell. That's what I
Quadruple.
call it. Raising hell.
Raising hell. That's
facts.
You know, building fast cars and four wheelers. You know, setting shit on fire.
I mean,
killing stuff.
Yeah, killing stuff.
Not people, stuff. Well,
yeah,
not
stuff. You know, blowing up trees, blowing up. You know,
Cats.
cats.
I remember when Dale's allergic to bees. Just so y'all know.
Yeah, I'm
I remember
mildly.
we were out walking around and a bee landed on the ground in front of Dale. He pulled out his 44 and he blasted a hole in the fucking ground.
Yeah, it's a true story.
He missed terribly, but it's the thought that counts.
No,
Crater
no.
that left. No, he shot that bee. It disintegrated that bee.
Well,
Into thin air. Into thin goddamn air. And, you know, sometimes we don't always need Gene for the genocide of bugs. God damn it, I have had Genes come in and do some bee removal from my barn. Those bastards were everywhere. It was disgusting. You know, if I get stung by one of those motherfucking things, my throat tends to swell up all thick like. It's almost like having a sore throat. And I get all these hives all over my arms. And the next thing you know, I'm passing out. I'm going into a goddamn coma, which happened when I was younger. I called up Genes to come get him to pull these bees out. Motherfucker walks in there with no protection, pulls the beehive down, walks it in, throws it into his car, and he's gone. You know, I pay the man off $200 right there. I don't know how the man survived the car ride to wherever he took those bees, but he's a goddamn legend, I'll tell you that. Anything you need done, remember, contact Gene. He ain't afraid of nothing. He even transported a truck of exotic animals over, stopped at the Walmart parking lot there for Ed just a couple weeks ago.
where I kind of stole EJ what I said earlier about paying Gene for the animal.
Well, I'm sure you'll do him a solid in the future.
I wish I could have met that little guy. You know, I listened to the show. I heard about the incident. And I was just heartbroken. You know, chimpanzees, they're adorable little creatures.
I know, they're so human-like. It's crazy. You look
It's
into
amazing.
their eyes and you're like, man,
That's
what
like
what you could be.
That's like
it's
my
insane.
son I never had, but I do have sons, and
They're like humans with no responsibilities, basically.
That's true. That's true.
they,
You know,
they can ride one hell of a four-wheeler.
Oh, damn.
that's true.
I wish I could have trained him more
He's
properly.
either on or off, though, folks.
All right, folks, and rest in peace, EJ.
Well, I really do miss the guy.
Take a moment to bow your heads. It's all right, Ed. It's all right. He was a good man. He's a good man.
Really,
You know, he was always throwing shit around at the zoo. It was awesome.
I really missed the guy.
Damn, Ed's man, this is
Hey, he
terrible.
threw feces at Nancy. Let's take a moment. That monkey did something that every one of us has wanted to do.
That's
in this
true.
town.
That's true.
Well, today we're going to be talking about some spooky shit. It's not going to be no ordinary four-wheeling or tractoring or car flipping or talking about treasures and whatnot. It's going to be paranormal, which is going to be about ghosts and a bunch of paranormal shit.
All right. So Joel,
Going on.
I know you've had some paranormal activities. All right.
Oh, man, you know it.
We've even witnessed some together.
You very much.
You know, and let me just point out to our local government, there's been some weird shit going on around this town recently. And pretty much ever since I can remember, all sorts of UFOs and shit flying over. I don't know. There's a military base close around here or something like that. You know, I don't know what they're doing over there, but Ed was taken aboard a spaceship, he believes. They probed his ass. All right. Joel, have you had anything similar happen to you? Any ghosts, aliens, anything unexplainable?
Many unexplainable things. Things that maybe some could explain, but not others. Many times I've seen strange objects fly over my cornfields, over my property. Unexplainable, leaving almost no trace, no sound. Don't really know what to say to stuff about like that. You know, you try to tell someone, you know they ain't gonna believe you, you know?
Nope.
Some people do.
It's because those folks, you know, at late at night, in the hours of the night, you know, there's people like Ed who's, you know, out on his tractor or four-wheeling or heading into town on the back roads. You see all sorts of weird stuff at night, and if you don't come out at night, you ain't going to see that stuff, all right? So wake up, folks.
You gotta wake up, you know?
So you were telling me the other day about some blue lights. Would you care to explain those?
Yeah, you know, I was out working on a Chevy, you know, because work on Chevys a lot, because break down a lot, but, you know, goddamn, they're American, so I work on them, I love them. And it was dark, and over the hills, I kind of had some hills over the back of the property, and I just saw little flashes. Nothing spectacular, but just little flashes that started, but then they got bigger, kind of built up, and then one big one went shooting across the sky. Unexplainable.
And
Man,
you're sure it wasn't lightning, right?
I'm sure. Not a trace of lightning. The sky was clear, and helicopters then flew over.
Helicopters, eh? You think they were onto something?
I don't know. It was it's one of those instances of something you don't know what happened, and then a bunch of suspicious activity after as well, and it just makes you think, what's going on? What do they know that we don't?
Do you think that Uncle Sam is potentially hiding secret evidence of these UFOs, flying saucers, aliens, and their existence?
I do, but I don't know why.
Just tell the people. If it's true, just tell us so we know we ain't crazy. I've seen this shit too. I've seen this shit with Ed, and I've seen this shit with Joel, even with Gene. All right, I've seen the phantom bugs. All right, please, somebody explain to me what is going on here.
All we want is answers.
Well, I really think the government's harnessing their technology.
Really?
They're trying to make an alien atomic bomb that'll decimate Russia.
Wow, that's insane. Hey, that could be a potential driving force. That's something that I can see America doing.
I mean, that's a positive. If that's what they're keeping from our people, I would like to know. Don't get me wrong. I would like to know that my government, my country, is accomplishing something of that nature.
Protecting their people.
Protecting their people.
Exactly.
Taking
and
us from them communists.
maybe they just
doing what
think
it takes.
maybe they just think they couldn't trust the general public with such knowledge. But I've even heard some conspiracies about possible people in secret governments, even as far back to the 1940s, having supercomputers back then and already having devices such as cell phones and computers, and that they were just hiding it from the general public until they knew that they could handle that kind of stuff.
The Cold War with Russia really sparked the arms race and us trying to get something greater than them. I really think going out to space with all them aliens really gave us information that we did not want the Russians to know.
Damn,
I think we didn't even tell anybody about the Manhattan Project, which is the bombing.
Yeah, Project Blue Book even. There's even a couple conspiracies around that. Project Paperclip. Project Paperclip was one of those ones that was recently disclosed. Because back around the time that we were fighting the Nazis, they had a lot of rebuilding to do. They had a lot of, socio-economical kind of stuff to be rebuilding. They had a couple of choices. They say, you're going to have to rebuild your guys' infrastructure, all right? Because you got the shit bombed out of you, plenty of wars, tore Germany apart, right? And then another option was to take these fancy scientists who were Nazis over to our soil and have them participate in the National Agency of Space, whatever, NASA back then. These folks started working for NASA, these Nazis, right? And they helped us do things like get to the moon. We used their secret knowledge. But here's the question in Project Paperclip is, where did those Nazis gain that knowledge? Do you think that Hitler had a conspiracy involving possible alien encounters or UFOs?
I think it must have been. You think about the start of technology and where human beings have come from.
Yeah, and where do these inventors get their crazy ideas?
Where do they get their ideas? Where do they start? With memory storage, with data, you name it. All of this, all these coordinates to places that we've never been, all these calculations. How do you even come up with that?
It's crazy stuff right there. It's paranormal. You know what I'm saying? I have faith in God, all right? He ain't ever done me no wrong, except for taking my poppy away. But,
Well, power to you since you got all his money.
Exactly. Some people, like that Nikola Tesla. That guy came up with some crazy shit. Supposedly had some kind of photographic memory. He could build engines inside of his mind and then know how to create them in, real time. And they were fully functional. This man invented alternating current. That's pretty crazy, Throw it up for him. Yeah. He was from Serbia, of course. But, he came to America with great ideas. I feel like there's been something that's just been hidden from, your everyday, ordinary people. You know, I like to talk about some paranormal stuff too. I've seen UFOs. They're flying over all the time. I mean, people just come out at night, take a look up into the sky. When stars are moving around in the sky like that, you know that it's not stars. They're UFOs. Now, there was even that one time that me and Joel here, we'd seen them flying over one night. We decided to go chase them, you know, see what the hell they're doing. We followed these damn fucking blue flashes of light into the foothills. They were swarming and dancing over there in the trees and stuff.
That's the only time I've seen Dale cry. I shit you not. All right.
That's true.
This was a moment. This was a serious moment right now. Like, this is like gaining independence to Dale. Because this was something that just proved.
Yeah, I wasn't crying out of fear.
No.
I was crying. I was embracing it. It's almost like adrenaline. It's like so powerful. And we've even had a few encounters with ghosts, you could say. Like, I've been haunted by the ghost of my father. You know, always, you know, looking over me and stuff. Sometimes it's a little invading.
Well, did he have his eye? Was he eyeless and what? Well, did he? I mean, well, I'm just gonna say, did he have one eye?
Well, when his ghost or his apparition appeared to me, he did have both of his eyes. You know, he was very, even a man as cold-hearted, black-lunged as that man was, he probably went to heaven. You know why?
He was a good father.
He had faith. He was a good father, and you know, he did what God put him on this planet to do. All right. When this man appeared to me, it scared the holy bejesus out of me. All right. My hair was standing up on the edge of my arms. You know, and this is only a couple of weeks after the man had passed away. And he said to me, he said, "Dale, don't fuck up, man." He said, "You're inheriting a lot of property. You know, you got a lot of responsibility, and remember that." It's like almost like he wasn't really talking. He was just putting the thoughts into my own mind.
You see, Dale, that you know, I see a resemblance to the memories that you have with your father, whether you think he was black-hearted or not. The reason why he appeared with both eyes is because you don't regret taking that eye. That is memory. That is memento.
No, I snatched it right out of the goddamn casket. How could a man be buried with something that wasn't God given to him at birth?
No. And you put him at rest for that, maybe.
Joel, I will have to stop you right there because we did grave rob a few folks back in the day.
Yeah.
All you folks who made the mistake of getting buried with fancy possessions like pearl necklaces and diamonds and shit, well, me and Joel, I'll get into this a little bit, but, you know, we dug up a few graves, all right? We made a few dollars. We made a few dollars off of maybe some of these old antiquities, all right? Do I feel guilty? No, because that woman was not birthed with a goddamn pearl necklace. I'm sorry. You don't own that shit after you die. I'm pretty sure when you die, you lose, you know, possession of your properties. And just so happened to lose it to me and Joel. Even Ed over here, he's guilty, you know.
Finders keepers.
But folks, don't go out there disturbing the dead and stuff. You know?
We would get gigs to dig graves. We did it. Money's money.
Money's
and
money.
we would scope it. You know, we knew who was getting buried. I mean, everyone knows each other around here. You know if it was someone wealthy.
We would know these people, and if we knew if they were getting buried with stuff, it would be
we'd
like
wait for him to die sometime.
It would be like a day after the funeral. We'd be picking it up. The corpse would still be.
Dirt's still soft.
Yeah, and
Easy work.
The bodies are still warm.
All right, Ed. You know.
Yeah, Ed, I'm gonna have to cut you off right there.
We don't need to go any further into this, folks.
We might get a little legal attention. Ed's had a few run-ins with the law this year, and we're trying to avoid as many of those as possible.
The sheriff's kind of fucking me over.
But
he's also fucked me over so many goddamn times that I just want to stick my boot so far.
Might as well just put a leash on this man over here. The funny thing is I think Ed's only spent a maximum of like a year in a very minimum security joint. But it wasn't for grave robbing or nothing like that. I mean, the crime that he committed was, well, something I would consider a God-given right. He was growing some marijuana over here. You know, just so happens that, you know, you could grow it, but when you start distributing it and stuff like that, that's when the legal issues start hitting.
You know,
so
devil's lettuce, man. You know, get you in trouble real quick
it'll
around
get
these
you
parts.
in trouble. So yeah, folks, if you're listening out there, just keep your eyes open for paranormal, you know, ghosts, UFOs, aliens. You know, they're here, man. You just gotta take a look.
Well, yeah, I got this fascinating story. I think you guys heard about this. It was 2 nights ago. I was riding my 4-wheeler at the back roads, and just like I always do, just like the time I got probed, it was not a fun time, but
I gotta ask. Sorry to interrupt, Ed. I mean, do you shit normal still?
Well, I'm just gonna have to say, Joel, it's a lot easier. My rectum didn't really my rectum didn't really go back to shape. It's very large. It's larger than average, but it's a lot easier to.
I've been telling Ed to go to the doctor to get it checked out. This man doesn't have health care still.
I can't be suckling off the teat of the government. That's where they get you.
I understand.
What my story is that you know the fields behind the forest, clear fields.
Yeah, where it gets flat.
It's flat and there's high grass because no one really tends to that area.
Yeah, I've been thinking about trying to see if I can get my hands on that land.
I go hunting out there all the time.
I was riding my 4-wheeler back there, and I come across this metal object. It's this large protruding metal object coming out of the ground. I didn't really want to go back there or go over there to touch it or get near it because last time I got probed. My ass hasn't recovered. I don't want that to happen again. Okay, I'll just split in two because I don't really think I could have taken much more than what they had.
So what exactly? What this metal object that was protruding? What was it?
Well, I don't know for sure because I'm not from NASA or government. But the next day I came, there was you heard the helicopters and
yeah. I'd seen some commotion out that way just a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some search helicopters out there. Big, I think I even saw what I think they call the Apache.
Yeah,
the helicopter.
The big ass helicopter.
That was a big ass helicopter.
I came back there just yesterday morning, and there was a bunch of government officials, and I don't know if any of you went over there recently, but
I haven't had any business over there.
There's a huge ass fence around that area now, and it's like when you got your house fumigated.
Kind of like that movie E.T.
Well, yeah, like E.T., but when Gene was working on your house and it was like this big ass tent.
Yeah.
It was getting fumigated. That's what it looked like. I really think they're conducting tests over there on the object that I don't know if it fell out of space. Maybe it's a meteor, but it was like protruding out of the ground.
So do you think that? Well, so it's sun's down now. All right, folks. Ed, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Should we go over there and take a gander?
I really think we should.
Joel, I don't know what your curfew is. I know you're a 24-hour mechanic.
Oh man, I'm down to go check it out. It's some alien.
Well, folks, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. It looks like Ed might have stumbled across a pot of gold, and I'm gonna grab my old camcorder and hopefully the VHS still works.
Hey man, you just gotta blow it off.
I think I got a few cassettes. All right, so I think that me, Ed, and Joel are gonna go take a look at this suspicious shit. All right, and tune in next week. See what happens.
Definitely tell you all about it. If we live,
if we actually are able to get to it. Hold on a second. So, folks, it's really looking like there ain't much activity over there. So, I don't see no searchlights or anything. So, I think let's head over there, guys. You guys ready for this? I'm gonna grab a couple beers and just.
Oh hell yeah! I'm grabbing my gun.
And since we're wrapping this episode up, I'd really like to just thank Joel for coming out here and giving us his time.
Once again, thanks for having me.
All right. And Ed, thank you very much.
Glad to be here, Dale.
All right, we'll see you all next week, and hopefully we have some crazy news for you.
Can we get a yeehaw for
Let's
this
get
episode?
one last yeehaw in case we might perish tonight. Yeehaw!